Hello, I am Víctor Paredes. I am the product manager of Moho, and I want to show you some of the improvements of the graphics engine. So in Moho 14, we totally changed the graphics engine. So now the preview on the canvas looks much better, and you can see more effects happening in real time in your screen. So here's one of the scenes done with Moho 14. So you can see it has several particle layers. Let me just hide everything but the ground and the particle layers, so you can see here, I think those are all the particle layers. So you can see the particle layers moving. We have some smoke, some sparks, different things, and all these particle layers, they are using different blending modes that we can change. So for instance, let me just change the blending mode for this one, so it's multiplying, but I can change it to something else and I can see the change happening in real time. So maybe this one. So now if I show everything, you can see the scene looks much lighter. Or I can take the particles and put it on top. So now the particles are on top of the characters. Right, you can see also here, if I go to the fire is using some blending, let me just hide the particles here. The fire is using liquid shapes. So you can see the liquid shapes moving here. And if you watch the tutorial about liquid shapes, I think you will understand what is going on here. But it is just these shapes done to animate the fire. Okay, and the fire also has effects like blur. If I open the player properties of one of them, you can see it has some blur applied to it, so I can increase or decrease the blur. It's also being colorized in real time, so I can change the color of this shape to any color I want. In this case, there is also a layer blending mode, so if I set it as blue, probably it won't look as blue, but just because the blending mode is changing that color. So let me just change it back to white. But you can see how the blur and the blending modes are working here, and also the liquid shapes with the effects and everything with the blending mode here. So let me show you another example here. So this is one of the backgrounds from Moho 13.5. I just replaced the fox for an energy ball here. So we have this energy ball, and this energy ball is made using liquid shapes. So you can see how the liquid shapes are actually moving here. And you can see all these effects happening and all this illumination happening here. But actually all this illumination is just vector layers with different effects. So for instance, if I select this shape here, you can see this light over the plant is actually just a vector shape being masked by the plants, and it has some blur that I can change here. So I can increase or decrease the blur. So now you can see all the shapes here, so it has some blur applied to it. I can colorize it, so it can be, I don't know, red or bluish or purple or whatever. I can just colorize that, and I can change the opacity, and I can see all that changing in real time. So now we got that, or that effect. So all the effects you see here, all the changes in the illumination, is actually just those layers, simple vector layers with blending modes and different effects applied. So you can see all this in real time. So I can illuminate this background by just moving this simple circle here. So I can change the blur here again, maybe increase the opacity. So now it is a much bigger light. I can leave it here. Let me show you another example here, because this can also be applied to different characters. So in this case, this character was created by an artist, and this is a bitmap layer. This is an image, and the character at the right, this is done with vectors. So these are all vectors done in Moho, and actually I can animate those vectors. You can see it here. So I have some smart bones here, and some dynamics, so you can see how the ears are moving with the dynamics. There are many things here, but this is only vector layer. So for instance, if I select this shape here, you can see the shine on the nose. It's actually just this vector shape, and I can modify that, and it's being masked by the nose. So another change that we have is that now the masking preview is way better. So you can see it here. So all these shines are actually just shapes that are being masked inside of different shapes. So this blue light is just a blue shape with some blending mode and some blur applied to it. So it's very easy actually. Maybe it looks complex here because there are many layers. I think in this case I was testing the technique, so I used many more layers that I actually needed, but you can simply create those and you just create a mask. Actually, I'm going to create a tutorial about how to create this particular character, so you can take a look on that one. But you can see here there is almost no difference between the bitmap and the vector character. Now, if we open this character on version 13.5, it will look something like this. It looks like I turned off the shape effects and the layer effects and some of the masking. So probably in 13.5 you will see something like that instead. So this is the difference between 13.5 and 14. So I can apply the shape effects, the layer effects, and the masking. Now you have your character there. So there are other changes on the preview, and let me just create a shape here, just a very basic shape. So one of them is also that you can open the layer properties of the vector layer, and you can apply noisy outlines and also animated noise. So I can just hit OK, and now this has that noise happening, and I can see it in real time. So I can just animate anything here, and it is moving like that. We can also go to the shadows and apply a shadow for it. So now you can see the drop shadow here. So that is also happening. I can also apply a gradient to this shape here. So now this gradient is also going to be shown in real time. So I just hit play and you can see the gradients are not disappearing. In the past, the gradients, they disappeared when you hit play, but now they work on real time. So there are many effects you can apply here, and many things that they used to look very ugly in the previous version, but now they look very nice. So we are very excited with this change. I think if you have more control over what you see in the canvas, that means that you will have more control over the final product, also the final video. So for instance, if you are animating some special effects like fire in this case, it's good that you see how that fire is actually behaving in real time in your canvas. So we are very excited about this change. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching. Bye.